Good morning, Cog Squad. Okay, so it is a kind of, well, I call it cold morning here on the farm. The temperatures are not that low, but the wind's blowing, the sun's not shining. So it just makes one of those kind of dreary, overcast days that we don't like to see around here. But that's okay. Things still have to be done. Animals have to be tended to. And my first stop this morning is I've looked at the camera for the Victorian crown pigeons, and she was actually sitting on the nest. But I've got to go in and check on them and see what progress they've made. In the camera, I can't see the ground, so I don't know how much material they have left, what they have left, and I need to check and see if they've got things that they can continue their nest build. They've been fairly active over the last 24 hours. Y'all saw the live stream where they've just been piling up more and more material, and I'm gonna go and check on them, and I'm gonna take y'all with me. So y'all come on and let's do the Victorian pigeon check-in. Okay, so here is the nest, and you can see that they've kind of made it one-sided, and I'm thinking that this is where she's going to lay the egg. There's a lot of space that's not filled up, but that back side over there seems to be where everything is. And as I'm looking around on the ground, it looks like all the material that they're choosing is pretty much picked over. So I think I'm going to go out and get some more of just the things that they are choosing to go in their nest. And a lot of people said that you need to get some hay or dryer lint or different small materials. But these are very big birds and they have large beaks. So in order for them to pick it up and get it from point A to point B, it has to be larger material. So what I go out and select this morning is going to be more of what they have already chose. But it looks like mostly pine and cedar, and there's a lot of sticks. Dryer lint would not be a good choice because, of course, clothes are washed in detergent, and then when they go through the dryer, the lint is produced, and they would have that detergent in the lint, so that's not a good choice. Animal hair is not, in my opinion, anything they're gonna choose. Like I said, they're big birds. They're choosing big materials. I mean, look at the size of the sticks they're choosing. They're leaving the little tiny stuff. Even all the pine straws left. The smaller sticks are left behind. Everything they're using is bigger stuff. So I'm just gonna add, like I said, more of a variety of what they have. And look at it from the bottom. Look at the material that's hanging out underneath. But that's just from them strategically placing it in different spots. But they're still working on it. So I'm gonna add some more material and see what happens. So my first stop is I've been using the landscape rake that we bought a couple of weeks ago a lot to do some cleaning up on the backside of our property. When we bought this property, this area where I am now was completely, I won't say wooded, it was completely overgrown. And so we had the mulcher come in, and he took care of a lot of the undergrowth and left the big trees that we thought could mature and, you know, be a visual asset to our property. So we left those, and lo and behold, we started seeing a vision that we could actually use this area, especially after I hooked the landscape rake up. And look at what it looks like now. I'm not completely finished. We do want to plant, well, we've actually got some ryegrass that we're going to plant out here and make it a little bit more visually appealing. But I really don't have a before to show you, but there were so many sticks and so much debris that was just, I mean, we couldn't cut the grass back here. Well, I say couldn't cut the weeds back here. So that landscape rake has been my joy over these past couple of weeks trying to get this back area cleaned up. Well, during my cleanup, there was a tree. Well, I don't know, what is it, a hickory, I think, Marycarl? Okay, so there was an oak and it had a little pine tree growing right up next to it. Well, it was so close that there's no way it could ever grow and mature. So I decided to well, Jason was going to cut it with a chainsaw. I told him the bucket of my tractor would probably take care of it. And so I gave it a little push and it came up. It came up roots and all. So I was happy to see that it did come up without cutting it flat from the ground, because it would have came right back. But this is kind of our first stop. Good morning, Foxy. You excited? It's cool out and she is giddy. Come help us, girl. She said, come play with me. Oh my goodness. How old is Foxy?
4.
Yeah, she's not a real puppy, but she sure is acting like it. And here comes Sunshine. Sunny, you gonna join us? All right, so here's the tree that I was talking about that I got up from the roots. So my plan is to move it to a discreet location, so it's not just sitting out here, but I hadn't got around to doing that. A lot of what they had used was pine limbs, and not just the limbs. They wanted the needles attached to it, and I think this may be where that they're gonna turn. Hey, baby, that may be where she's gonna lay the egg. One thing I hadn't mentioned is that the Victoria crown pigeon lays a single egg. So we're not going to have a nest full of eggs. We're going to have a single egg. So it's really important that they take turns sitting on it. The male does sit and the female sits as well. And we're going to make sure that they have, look at Foxy. We're going to make sure that they have all the materials that they need to build this wonderful nest. And it looks like I'm not doing any of the work. You okay with that? Foxy, what you so excited for this morning? Huh? Is it because it's cold? You think cut everything that there is here off?
We don't need that too. I don't think it's dry enough.
All right.
Because we're going to get other stuff.
So the other thing we had in mind was cedar. There was also a little small cedar that was growing up next to one of the trees back here, and Marycarl cut all the branches off of it, thinking that they may use it, but really not knowing. But they used every bit of it. So we know of one other cedar on our property that we can go and cut some branches off of and supply them with more of what they seem to really want to use. The small stuff is not being used. It's more the bigger stuff, which is what Marycarl said in the beginning. They're large birds. Keep in mind, they're about the size of a female turkey.
The females are about the size of a small tom.
A small tom turkey?
And then the males are about the size of a female turkey.
Okay. So
the females are always bigger than the males.
Females are always bigger than the male. One thing we hadn't mentioned is that a lot of people wanted to know how you tell the male from the female.
You can't really.
You not
Except
look.
for the female's going to be a little bit bigger.
Female's a little bit bigger, but other than that, if they're not standing side by side, you really can't tell. You can't distinguish between the two. So the way that we tell between the two is that the female has a pink orange colored band on her leg, and the male has it's
a little blue and silver band.
you would see it on camera, probably a silver. He has a silver band, but it's just about impossible. I mean, even me watching the camera, or Marycarl watching the camera, with them sitting on the nest, we can't distinguish which is the male and which is the female until we see the band. So, well, Sonny, I know you want to help, baby, but you can't pull a branch off. So that's the way we determine the male from the female. And I would advise you, if you're watching the footage of the lives that have been shown, to look for that pink band in the female and the silver band in the male. Now we're going to go to another location, get some of the cedar. And Marycarl, you know what I noticed? Is that when we had the material piled up, they didn't like it. So I think when we go in, we're going to need to kind of scatter it about for them, and instead of leaving it piled up, they need to, it's almost like they need to examine each little piece and determine if that is the right piece for the nest. Goodness, I just thought of something and now I forgot. Oh, a lot of people were saying, y'all need to leave these birds alone. You need to leave them alone. We have to go in there every day and feed and water them.
And it's not like they're crazy. They're very used to people.
They're very used to us. Now, we're not going to sit in there all day and be hovering over them. I have a camera that I can watch. So, there's been multiple times where Jason and Marycarl come into whatever area of the house I'm in, and they can hear me watching the Victorians on the camera, because it's quite calming. You know, I'm just so involved in this nest build, and to have the camera to be able to watch them without disturbing them. Now, keep in mind, we do go in there, we do fill up their feed and water. But we're not going to in turn go and put things in the nest for them. That's not what they want. They want to build this nest themselves, make sure everything is hunky-dory for their little single child. And so we're just supplying the materials. There's no way that area that they're in would have the materials that they need to build the nest. So we have to help them out in this nest build. But we're not going to go in there and put anything in the nest. All right, so next stop, cedar. Alrighty. So here we are. This is the only cedar that I know about on our property. And it's beautiful. I said when we bought the property that we should put Christmas lights in it and make it our outdoor Christmas tree. But the camera doesn't do it justice as to how big it is. I don't know how in the world that we could possibly get up there to put Christmas lights on it, but it would be beautiful. And this tree will never miss the clipping that we're doing. And we're so excited to report that Zirk is about 75%, wouldn't you say, Marycarl?
Yeah.
He's done a complete turnaround from the first day that we took him to the vet. All right, this is a good bit. This is way more than what we had last time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful in that bucket. Oh, looks like we ran over a duck egg. Everybody's enjoying it. Yuck. All right, so you want me to carry the loose stuff? I see it. You want me to carry the loose stuff and you carry the bucket? Pine smells so good.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty scattered about, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm about to go back in the house where it's warm and cozy and sit and watch the Victorian pigeon cam from the comfort of my home. And I'll take y'all with me. I'll show you what I see. Let's go. So I came inside, sat down, turned the camera on to find that, I can't tell which one this is. I think it's the female. But they're already, what appears to be, working on the nest again. Y'all are not gonna believe this. Just came back inside. I sat down on the couch. I turn on my phone. And lo and behold, they've already got material putting it in the nest. So obviously they were out of the things that they wanted to use, and us bringing the more of the cedar and the pine in allows them to continue the build. I am amazed. But look at the two of them working together. I do believe that this is the female. And it seems that he has been bringing the material to her. I'm sorry about all these notifications. I don't know how to cut them off. But he brings her the material, and she strategically places it exactly where she wants it. Oh my gracious. Let's see what she does. I just wonder how long they plan to work on it. From what I've read, it could be anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. But you can tell that she's definitely trying it out in this corner. She tries out that spot, and I think that's where she's going to lay the egg, is right there in the center. I'll be shocked if they continue to fill up the rest of the platform and don't just continue to pile up the area where she is. Yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, after I had been in there to check on them, I was outside doing some other things, and the male was making his loud drumming noise, which is more like a mating call. He's ready to breed and start a family, and it's a loud doom 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 doom. And in the past, when we've heard it, you can hear it inside the house. That's how it's a deep tone that's unlike anything else. We always know the distinguishing drumming that the male makes. Now he's got something else. Look at here, you can see that he's brought her something else already. Okay, Gidget. He's already brought her two things. Look, he's got another branch in his mouth. Oh my gracious, he literally put it on her back. I think she dropped it on accident. I think she dropped it down on the ground.
Oh no.
And look at him trying to cross over her. Wow. Okay. Well, one day we're going to get it figured out to where we can leave the camera on all the time. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of the Victorian crown nest build, and maybe we'll see an egg soon.